Another day is gone. I'm still all alone.
Hey there, welcome to my weekly message. I am Jalailah Starr. Today the topic is when a guide appears to be a trickster. This topic came to me as a result of a session I had last week with a client, and it was thought-provoking. So I decided to share it with you, and mostly because I know that there are other people out there in training or trying to start their mission they've awakened, but they don't, and they have a guide that they feel is lying to them and tricking them. I've had this happen several times over the 20-year period that I've done this work, and each time there's a reason for it. So if that is happening for you, this message is for you, so that, you know, if you don't get this one, it can actually hold you up in moving forward, because there's obviously something very big that you need to learn. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story about this client. We'll call her Mary. Mary, when she contacted me to see about scheduling an appointment, she says, I have this guy that's been lying to me and tricking me, and I've asked him to leave and he won't leave, and so I need to know what that is. And the other thing is that I need to understand why I'm a healer, but I can't move beyond a certain point. It's like there's a glass ceiling and I can't get beyond it. I need to understand why I can't move beyond it, because she's very connected to her mother, and her mother has an illness that she feels she should be able to heal, and she can't heal her. So that's kind of her motivation to move forward with her healing work. So I told her, I said, number one, I cannot control which guides come, because guides call you to the meeting. So you find me. I don't go looking for you. So the only guides that are going to show up are the ones who are calling for the meeting. So because I can't control it, you got to understand that up front. He may show up, he may not show up. I can't control that. Do you understand that? She goes, yeah, I understand it. I said, okay. So then if you want to go ahead and place the order and schedule the session, we'll do it, but with that understanding. So the day came to the session. She calls me up, reiterates the same thing. I call on her guides. Guess who shows up? Yes, that guide. But with him came some very powerful individuals. When I tuned in, and let me understand, sometimes when I tune into guides, depending on the level of guides they are, the species they are, dimension that they come from, the connection is either like a dial-up connection, a cable connection, a DSL, or a T1 line, fiber optics. In this case, it was like a T1 line. These were very high-level guides with very powerful energy about them, that they could create a hook or link up with me, communication link up, that was crystal clear. And it was like I was sitting in a room opposite them, observing them. I could see the details of what they looked like, even down to the medallion that was hanging from each of their necks, that was purple and gold. And I saw very, very clearly they were a council of white dragon healers. And these were very ancient healers, very high-level healers. Normally when I do a session and the client is asking about, oh, who are my guides, what do they look like, where they come from, how do I know them, what are their names, they're not going to get a lot of that information. That's what we call the candy. It's great to know, but that and a couple, $2 will give you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. It's not going to move you forward to know those details. Those are usually reserved for rewards. They will give you those details as a reward for you moving forward. So the guides want you to focus on the message, not on what they look like. Well, in this case, they first focused on the candy. They were showing me what they looked like, which was rare, and to the degree that they did, and giving me some of their history. And they said that they were tied to the ancient mystery schools in Egypt. They sent many of their people to Egypt. They were some of the first teachers in the mystery schools, and they perfected the initiation at the Temple of Kamombo. So if you know anything about that, that's where you dive into the pool of crocodiles. And either you find your way out before you run out of air, or the crocodiles eat you, or you die. And you have to come back and do it again. Well, that's pretty cool because I understand that's the final initiation for a student to become a teacher. So these are pretty powerful guides. They also said that she was one of them, and that they were telling me about, they showed me her running around in the temples, and that she was this young student, and they said, kind of chuckling, she was kind of wayward and difficult and headstrong and wanted to do things her way. But they kind of admired that. So they said, you know, she came here for a very powerful mission to share some of their healing abilities. But the block that she was having to moving forward is because there were certain things she had to learn. One was about integrity, you know, keeping your word, even when you don't want to. When you say it, you do it, or pay the consequences, and some other things. So back to this guy that she said she didn't like and was trying to get rid of, I understood he was there. He was one of them as well. And he was in contract with her to help her learn those things that she hadn't learned yet so that she could move forward. And because it had taken 10 years, they felt like they were at a crossroads, you know, like a, that's not the word I'm looking for. You know, they were stalled. And the word I got was they were kind of off track with her, and they needed to either get back on track so they could keep going by, or just, you know, go on to another student that they are training right now for the same mission, because they always send more than one. So that's why they came and they were giving her this detail and giving her this explanation. And so when I explained this to her very clearly, very slowly, her response was that, well, it appeared she didn't even hear me. All she wanted to hear was that I was going to get rid of this guy. None of that other stuff mattered. In fact, what Mary said to me was, well, if they're tied to him, I don't want any of them. Get rid of them. I don't want any. I said, so do you understand what you're saying? You're saying that if you were canceling your contract with them, you are verbally stating to them, you don't want to work with them. You understand what that means? They will go. And they did go. She goes, yeah, they did. They left. So all that was left was this guy. He would not go away. And that's when I saw what appeared to be a shackle around his neck with a ball and chain on the floor. But I didn't understand it at that time, other than he was shackled to her. And he couldn't go until she learned the lesson. Okay, so she didn't like that. So she ended the session early. She was very upset that I couldn't get rid of him. And we said, too, that they were both, everybody seemed to be unhappy and frustrated with that whole situation. So anyway, I got off the phone, and it was kind of disturbing, and I sat with it for a couple of days. And then it came to me that, you know, there's this saying that the souls who love us the most play the most difficult roles in our life. I saw, we just kind of dropped in, that was her father. He had been with her many lifetimes, and he agreed to step into that very difficult role because he was the one whose love could endure the rejection, the ridicule, the harsh words that were going to be thrown at him, hurled at him. And I saw like pans and knives being thrown at him. And that he would continue to play that role lifetime after lifetime until she got it. That was a part of her initiation that she had not completed. And that's why she couldn't move forward. My heart hurts for all of them. Anyway, it is my hope that one day she will get that. And that this council will come back. If she gets it, owns it, apologizes, they will definitely work with her again, because she, as they said, is one of their most gifted. So many of you out there are very gifted starseeds and walk-ins and light workers, and you have missions to do. If you are dealing with a trickster, so guide, there might be something you need to understand about that, and hopefully this message will make that clear to you. So take care, have a good week. Hope you had a great week, New Year's, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
You are not alone.